Under 5. For a certified survey map, which is in the top. Monahan was proud of his record. How you feeling? I think I might. He's like. Can't put Lysol on bananas, so please don't touch it.
I have 7 o'clock, Mr. President. I have 7 p.m.
This guy is ready. Good evening. The time is now 7 o'clock p.m., and I would like to call the Beloit City Council meeting to order at this time. Can we have roll call?
We have 6 counselors present, 1 counselor absent.
Item 2, Pledge of Allegiance. Can we all stand, please? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, special orders of the day. Excuse me, and announcements. We have none. Item 4 is public hearings. Item 4A, please.
Is a resolution authorizing an amended conditional use permit to allow industrial service and manufacturing in a C3 community commercial district for the property located at 704 4th Street.
Ms. Christensen, please.
In 2001, the City Council approved a conditional use permit to allow warehousing of welding supplies and equipment, parking and storage of delivery vehicles, and administrative offices. As a condition of approval, There was the standard, any major conditions come back through this public process. What they're proposing is an outdoor CO2 storage tank, which will be used for the industrial service manufacturing. It'll include gas cylinder refills and the production of dry ice. They have proposed 2 possible sites for the placement of the outdoor tank on the subject property. Both proposed locations will offer adequate room for freight vehicle maneuvering, storage tank refilling, and loading. There's a site plan included in your packet. This was sent out to our review agents, and the fire department did submit a comment suggesting that the applicant provide proper labeling for hazardous materials response and low oxygen monitoring within the production area. The applicant did confirm that proper labeling will occur and air monitoring will be provided. A public notice was sent out to 14 nearby property owners. Planning staff received no comments. No one came to the Plan Commission meeting. And Plan Commission reviewed the item on November 8th and voted unanimously to recommend approval, subject to the 3 conditions which are listed in your resolution, which is on your agenda for action tonight, which is that the conditions imposed with the 2001 conditional use permit remain in full force and effect. That resolution should be included in your packet. The applicant shall obtain an architectural review certificate and a building permit prior to installing the outdoor gas storage tank, and then our standard condition about major changes coming back through this public process, and minor changes can be approved administratively.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. At this time, I would like to open the public hearing on item 4A. Is there anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening? If so, please step forward and state your name and address for the record. Second call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak on item 4A this evening? Hearing and seeing none, I would like to close the public hearing on item 4A and entertain a motion from council for approval. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Duncan. Is there a second? Second by Jacobson. Any questions or comments? I do have a question. Is the applicant here this evening or someone representing Welder Supply? Okay, if we could, I don't want to hold it up from moving it forward, but if we could get the information, the question I asked in agenda review, simply about how often is this inspected to make sure that there's no leakage going on. If we can get some feedback on that, I understand that it may be safe, but once this is installed, the public may become aware of what's going on in the neighborhood, and they may have questions as to how often it's inspected to make sure that the surrounding area and buildings are safe. So if you could just check into that, Julie, and then you could just shoot us an email back, that would be greatly appreciated.
I want to make sure I understand. I have
Okay.
everything you are asking for. So how often are the tanks inspected?
Correct.
Is that
And then there was in Plan Commission, there was a commissioner that was concerned about the hissing sound from the tanks that they have now. Would that be eliminated with this new tank?
He said yes at
Okay.
Plan Commission because 2 similar tanks are located on Barrett Place.
Okay,
And that's actually closer to the Plan Commissioner's house than this is. And
Okay.
he did not hear hissing from those tanks. So,
okay,
I mean, we won't know for absolute certainty till they're installed, but
okay.
to verify that.
Okay, so I think the main question is, how often do they do preventive maintenance on it just to make sure that everything is still safe out there? So,
Okay.
Okay, thanks. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, there is a motion and a second. All those in favor of approval of 4A, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 5 is public comments. We have reached a point on our agenda where citizens may come forward to speak on items that are not on the agenda. You are limited to 3 minutes. I won't cut you off at 3 minutes, but I will give you a friendly reminder that you're approaching the 3-minute mark. We do ask you to keep your comments professional. Any attack on city staff, city councilors, or anyone else, I will ask you to sit down immediately because that is not the way that we conduct business. At this time, we did have one individual that filled out a citizens participation form. If you did not fill out a form, this is an opportunity for you to get up and speak as well. The first person that we have is Rose Richard. If you could come forward and state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Rose Richard. I live at 618 Church Street. I am standing up here today to announce my intention to run for City Council this spring. I'm running because Beloit is a great city with great people, great organizations, and a lot of positive momentum as a result of civic partnerships, excellent leadership, and recent and not so recent development of our river and downtown. Also as a result of the willingness to openly and honestly speak about the problems we're facing. This is a unique quality that needs to be celebrated. I am proud to tell my friends and family that I live in Beloit. Furthermore, as a 23-year-old and recent college graduate from Beloit College, I want to inspire and encourage other young people to participate in politics. In order to become skilled in this type of leadership, I need to practice local governance, seek opportunities to serve, and be bold. I have already run for City Council once. I have served on the Equal Opportunities Commission for a year. I am ready to serve the residents of Beloit as a City Council person. Beloit needs energetic and dedicated leadership. Beloit needs an energetic and dedicated leader who is focused on not just the present but also the future, and who will bring their peers along with them to serve. I am that leader, and I hope you will vote for me in April.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak under public comment this evening? Second call, anyone wishing to speak under public comments this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, we move to item 6 with the consent agenda, please.
All items under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a councilor member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Is there any councilor who would like anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, the consent agenda consists of items 6A through 6D. Is there a motion for approval?
I so move.
It's a motion by Forback. Is there a second? Second by Duncan. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 7, licenses, please.
Is a
7A.
resolution approving and denying the 2017-2019 applicants for an alcohol beverage operator's bartender's license for the period October 27th through November 10th. You have 13 being recommended for approval and 1 being recommended for denial. The denial's time for appealing has expired.
Is there a motion for approval? There's a motion by Jacobson. Is there a second? Second by Anderson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. 8 is appointments. 8A, please.
Under appointments this evening, we have Lisa Baronis, 2545 Crestview, to the Municipal Library Board, replacing Samantha Johnson, and Christavian Johnson, 1633 Porter, as the youth representative of the Park, Recreation, and Conservation Advisory Committee. And under appointments, all appointments are taken in one motion unless you'd like to consider them separately, at which point the councilors would need to have them taken up.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion by Duncan, is second by Forback. Questions or comments?
I was just going to comment about,
Go
are you
right
going
ahead.
to announce the vacancies?
Well, sure.
All right.
Go right ahead. Do you have the vacancies in
I sure do. Do you want to vote on the?
We'll
appointments
vote this, and then if
I
you could read the vacancies after that. Any other questions or comments?
I just wanted to make a comment. I'm just glad that Chris Savion reapply. It's good to have our youth involved in the community, and also with him becoming involved in a committee. That's wonderful. So I just wanted to mention that.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, there is a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Please read the opening.
We do have the following vacancies. On the Alcohol Beverage License Control Committee, there is 1 vacancy for the Tavern League rep. On the Appointment Review Committee, there is 1 vacancy for a resident. Under the Board of Appeals, there is 1 vacancy for a second alternate. On the Board of Review, there is a 1 vacancy for alternate. Community Development Authority, 1 vacancy for a resident. Equal Opportunities Commission, a vacancy for a resident. Landmarks Commission, a vacancy for an East Side representative. Municipal Golf Committee, 1 vacancy for a youth representative. And the Park Recreation and Conservation and Advisory Commission, there is a vacancy for a resident.
Thank you. Moving on to item 9, council activities and upcoming events. Councilor Jacobson.
No report. Hope everyone has a nice and happy Thanksgiving.
Counselor Anderson.
Just a couple things. Spoke at Rock County Christian School. It was different. I haven't been in that school yet, so it was really nice to talk to those students. I also ended up speaking to a couple of Rock County employees about the opioid crisis. We met at the counseling center up in Janesville and talked about how to become advocates and how to prevent drug abuse, especially since that's a big epidemic going on, not just in Beloit, but in Rock County. I also ended up attending the Solidarity Gathering at the Beloit College last night. Mark Preschel attended. A lot of touchy subjects that needed to be addressed ended up coming out: race, poverty, LGBTQ issues, and immigration. So I really enjoyed having all those people come out and speak. It was definitely something that needed to be talked about, and I hope the discussion continues. Besides that, I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Let's be safe and stay out of trouble on this holiday. Let's eat a lot of food, and let's begin the holiday season. Thank you.
Counselor Forback.
Well, I had the opportunity to attend, pardon me, the steering committee for the new city plan. And again, talk about things you're thankful for. There were so many citizens there. It was great. It was crowded, and we met at the library in one of their big meeting rooms. And it looks to me like we're going to have a lot of brain power and commitment to come up with a new 10-year plan. So I think there was a lot of diversity as far as professional, what people bring with their professional knowledge. As always, I think we always would like some more racial and age diversity. But we'll be working on that. So I'm excited to be part of it. And I will say one of the things I'm thankful for is that I'm on your city council.
Counselor Preschel.
I attended the Solidarity gathering yesterday with Clinton and many others from the community. And there will be ongoing discussions, and I think our Equal Opportunities Committee will be leading the way on that. And I also attended the steering committee for the comprehensive plan, and it's amazing how much has changed in the last 10 years since the last plan was addressed, and how much brighter the prospects for Beloit appear now compared to 10 and 20 years ago. And I can remember those times, and it's really great. And I've waited all my life to see this happen, so it's really very, very, very gratifying. Coming up, we have two big events downtown, and to kick off this holiday season. Lighted Holiday Parade. I promise not to climb on anything this year. And the Friday following is the Holidazzle event, which is always fun, and both are great opportunities for photographers. And I encourage everybody to come down and see what's happening downtown in these holiday times. And thanks a lot.
Vice President Duncan.
I don't have a lot. I just got a couple things to touch on. First, I want to say that Sherry Blakely is not here tonight. So, Sherry, if you're watching us at home, we miss you. We know that you're ill tonight, and otherwise you'd be sitting right by our side. So, get well soon. And then also, I would like to encourage our citizens to please join a citizen committee. All you would need to do is to go on our website on the City of Beloit, and there's a small app. It'll tell you about how to complete a small application and what to do, but it's very simple. So we would encourage you to join a committee. And then also I wanted to mention that Michelle Gavin's mom had passed away, and I just wanted to let her know that Michelle, you're in our deepest, you have our sympathy, and you're in our thoughts and prayers. And on that note, I would just like to say have a safe and happy Thanksgiving, and remember to spread the love. And I'm picking up from my last city council meeting. I think we don't do that enough. We all get so tense in our everyday lives, working hard and just not being aware, not being appreciative of what we have. And so that's my words tonight to the citizens in the city. Spread the love. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple things. I had the opportunity to, as some of you may have viewed in the newspaper, to be the principal of the day. It's amazing that it's always an exciting time to go back, and I was once attended Aldrich when it was not the middle school what it is now. It was like years ago when it was like a junior high or right before high school. But I enjoyed working with the students. One thing that I wanted to do, and I let the Daily News know this, and I want to let the public know as well, that a few weeks ago there was article after article in the paper about what's going on in the schools, and I caution us, first of all, because as we try to bring businesses to the city, we have to be mindful of what we say, not only into the media, but as we're in our coffee shops and restaurants, what we're talking about, because we never know who's around to try to bring businesses to the city. So if they're seeing that the people that live here are talking bad about the schools or whatever, that's going to make them say, well, why should we go? Spending the day there, I'm a firm believer that if there's problems in the school when there's not a visitor present, if a visitor is present, the problems will still be there. I'm not naive enough to think that there's not altercations that happen in schools, especially at middle school level, high school levels, or elementary school levels. I'm not naive to think that. But I don't want the public to think that this is an everyday occurrence. I truly believe that just because I was there, that did not stop anyone who may have been doing this on a daily basis. So entertaining with the students was great. Set in a couple classrooms. There's learning going on. There's interaction going on. Kids are excited about learning. The principals and assistant principal and staff at Aldrich, where I was at, was very engaged with the students. So you see that every day. And as I said, this is not something they were doing to put on a show. This is what they do each and every day. So I just want to caution us as we always talk about what's going on in the buildings. It's nice to go around and we can easily pick out the negative things, not only in the school district, but in the city. We can always focus on the negative. That's obvious. You can walk in any place and you're going to find 5 things wrong. But I challenge us, and when we find those 5 things wrong, let's try to find 10 or 15 things that we're doing right, because truly Beloit is on the move. And I often say that people who come to Beloit, they see that more than the people who live here. So I'm not downing anyone. I just want us to know that let's start promoting, as Vice President Duncan said, and spreading the love, but let's also spread the positive things that's happening in our city. And when we want our city to grow, that's how it grows, by promoting the positive and not focusing so much on the negative. So that's all that I have, and with that, we wish from all of my colleagues and the city manager and the entire staff that we wish everyone a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Most people have Fridays off, so you can eat a lot on Thursday and get to sleep in on Friday. So when Julie's son was here, I had the opportunity of embarrassing him, so I get to also do that now to the city manager, whose dad is in the audience today. And I'm going to say this, and she'll probably punch me after the meeting or something, but coming to the previous meeting and meeting him, and you just see her, and I leaned over and I looked at Julie, and I was like, she's like a little girl in grade school now because her daddy's here. So when you walk in, she's like, oh, my dad, you want to meet my dad? So when I look at her, I said, so let me guess. I said, you're probably like my daughters, and so let me guess, you're daddy's girl or something. So, I mean, but you can just tell, and that's nice to see when you see that side of people that just kind of go back to that little, my dad's here. And I'm like, okay, her dad's here. So we want to welcome him to the city, him and his wife. They're going to be attending Grandparents' Day at Todd. So if you see them out there, welcome them. Welcome them. She's the city manager. If you have any concerns about what she's doing, call her office. Don't tell me. So I just want to put that out there. So as you can see, we like to have fun down here as well. But welcome to you and your wife to the city. We hope that you get out and tour and look around and see what Beloit has to offer. So with that, we'd like to move on to city manager's presentation. There are none this evening. Item 11, reports and boards. There are none this evening. Item 12, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Duncan. Is there a second? Second by Presho. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned.